Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Philippines with I is here, and we're back to the Philippines. So for today's video, guys, our topic for today is about our trip to Singapore. How did I pass? I am sorry. How did I pass the immigration, and what's the requirements? What is the questions and
The cost.
the cost also of the trip.
Yeah, on my channel Q Adventures, I was inquired a few times, like what I mean by, expensive. And I use the word expensive very loosely, and I sincerely apologize because I was comparing cost to, cost of living here in the Philippines. So as far as cost is concerned, it's pretty comparable to Los Angeles, where I came from. So living here in the Philippines for like 15, 16 months, it's okay, honey. Living here in the Philippines for 15, 16 months, I just, I guess, I don't know, like customization or, accustomed to the cost over here. So, compared to Singapore, like when we're eating at a street side,
It's street food.
yeah, a street side restaurant, it wasn't, exactly street food. But a street side restaurant, a Thai restaurant on Geylang Road, and for the two of us, it was $30, which is pretty similar to U.S. currency. Once again, it's just we didn't plan this at all. It was a last minute spur of a moment. We looked at the calendar. We weren't expecting any bike rentals or bike returns, so we just thought we book a flight rather quickly
Yes.
and come back rather quickly. And when we were being transported to the airport, we jokingly tell the Grab driver that we're just flying to Singapore for dinner and we'll be right
Yes.
back.
Just only to touch the ground and go back to the Philippines.
Yeah, and the purpose that it serves is just because I got this idea because before coming to the Philippines, I've watched many videos and, like I noticed the redundancy of um, I guess advices, it's just quote unquote, if a Filipina needs to, leave the country, she has to be sponsored or invited or K1 visa or a spousal unification petition, and all the commonality that I've seen. So I just thought do something different and test the water a little bit and see if she can leave the country, the Philippines, without any of these traditional visas or sponsorships or anything like that. As far as the Filipina going to a different country is concerned, there's a misperception that with a Filipino passport, it is difficult to enter another country, especially a developed country. And I feel that that is a misperception, 100%. In this case, with Singapore, with a Filipino visa, I'm sorry, with a Filipino passport, there is no visa requirement. But to enter any country that requires a visa, as long as you get the Filipino passport gets a visa approval, there is zero problem in getting into the country. However, though, it is difficult for the Filipino passport holder to leave the Philippines. And the speculation for that is because, especially if you are a female that is younger than age 25 and you travel to um, countries that are notorious or well known for their red light district and their sex trade.
Yes.
So the Filipino government, again, this is speculation, and my understanding of it is that the Filipino government, like put together these strict laws to prevent their own citizens to be trafficked
Yeah.
or to get into a very unfavorable position, which cause, I guess, like intergovernment tensions. So, the speculation in my mind was just that these were the issues, and that's why it is difficult for the Filipino passport holder to leave the Philippines. Above and beyond that, the sex trafficking issue, there's also an issue of the Filipino passport holder is, for one reason or another, deemed to be at a higher risk for overstaying their visa, or not even returning to their country and staying at whatever country they're in, and working illegally and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So the speculation is that those are the issues. So when we decided to leave the Philippines so she can collect her first
Stamp.
immigration stamp on her passport, we chose Singapore because Singapore is prostitution is illegal and it's not known for underground red light districts, or at least to my knowledge, it is not. And it is a developed country, and all things factored in together, that's the country that we chose to go. Originally, we decided we wanted to go. We bought a one-way ticket, which from Cebu
To
direct to Singapore,
Singapore.
because we were trying to avoid
Manila.
Manila. Yeah, because the foot traffic in Manila is absurdly busy, and I can imagine the stress level that these immigration officers are going through, and the odds of someone like her who has never left the Philippines to get approved is probably not likely compared to somewhere like Cebu.
Cebu.
So we look for a direct flight from Cebu to whatever country, and Singapore was one of them. And I guess everything, all the stars aligned, so we decided to go to Singapore at the very last minute. So last minute that I didn't even know what kind of currency they
Yeah.
use, what their national language is, and the cost and everything.
Yes.
Budget, everything. We didn't do that. So as far as the flight is concerned, we got, originally we decided to go to, we wanted to go to Singapore, from Singapore to Thailand,
Thailand.
from Thailand to Vietnam, and from Vietnam back to Cebu,
Yes.
and collect three stamps. But at the last minute, we decided, what if we book all these flights and she doesn't even get through immigration to Singapore? So we decided not to do that, and we booked the one-way ticket to Singapore, which was how much?
It's 8,600 8,086.
8,086, which is considerably very cheap, that's for both of us. So
Yes.
that translates to about 8,000 is about $150, so about $75 a person, one way. So, however, when we change our mind about or taking the financial risk for uh, Thailand and Vietnam, we scrapped that idea and decided to book a one-way ticket from, exit ticket from
Yes.
Singapore back to Cebu. How much was that ticket? It was much more expensive.
Yes, 12,415 for the two of us.
Oh, that's not too big of a difference.
No.
For 12,000, so that's about $120 per person, US dollars per person, coming from Singapore back to the Cebu airport.
Yes.
And then how much was the hotel? And I went on hotel.com to look at a list of hotels, that are with a pretty decent rating, 7 stars and up, and the lowest cost possible to save money, and we came up on Hotel 81 Premier Hollywood, which
Yes.
was for about $76 per night, and we booked it for 2 nights.
So we pay around $160
Yeah, about 160 $160 for 2 nights.
tonight.
And the room, however, for that price, the average cost over there is about $150 per night in Singapore in general. But because this hotel was about $76, the room was like,
Very small. Especially the CR, just only one Filipina person can enter it
yeah. So for
one at a time.
yeah, coming from Los Angeles, California, I'm considered pretty, small in size, but compared to the Filipino community, I'm a little bit wider. So to sit on that toilet, I was like this,
Yeah, I
and
teasing him.
whew, it was uncomfortable. But yeah, I mean, we just used it to sleep. Most of
Yes.
the time, we were just walking around.
Yes, we walk from Marina Bay going to Merlion also.
Merlion.
Merlion, sorry.
Yeah, it's a lion with a mermaid fish bottom. Yeah,
Yes.
so yeah, on the day of arrival, we just checked in and unpacked our little backpack, for both of us, and then we just went down to Geylang Road Street.
Yes.
Yeah, and we walked the street.
Yeah,
I was Go ahead.
explore the street, then finding foods.
Yeah, I was craving legitimate Chinese food so bad.
Yes.
So that was a nice walk. We walked all day and then just through these alleys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And to me, I lived in Los Angeles pretty much most of my life, and I spent 8 years living in Henderson, Nevada. To me, like I'm accustomed to all these luxuries and all these, like high rises and the architecture and engineering and stuff like that. But
I'm so amazed, fascinating about the area, the structures, and especially the country is not polluted. Everywhere you're gonna look, it's very clean. So I was fascinated and tell Derek that, oh my God, they are so clean and not polluted, not like in my country.
yeah, it was extremely clean, much cleaner than Los Angeles, California, or any countries that I've visited, like even cities within the United States. There's CCTVs everywhere. We were
Yes.
told by the Grab driver that, another Grab driver, which was a female, and she indicated that even if, she, a young lady like herself that is pretty, walking by herself at 3 a.m., there isn't any dangers imposed because of all the CCTVs that
Yes.
were available. Crime rate was pretty much zilch. I'm sure there are crimes, but she said, generally speaking, like crime is pretty much non-existent because of the CCTV that acts as a big brother, like
Yes.
the general citizens, like they already know, not to commit a crime. And even when I observe people smoking cigarettes in the middle of the sidewalk or something, when they're done, like they turn it off on the floor and they take initiative to throw it in the trash can.
Yes.
That was pretty amazing, it's just like people to have that kind of discipline or that mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. And other than that, the next day, the following day, after we woke up from a long day of walking Geylang Road, we originally decided to what?
To
To
walk from our hotel going to Marina Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How far of a walk was that?
6 months, I think.
6 kilometers.
Kilometers, sorry.
Yeah, but
But we changed our mind, especially the sun is so hot.
it was so humid. We were anticipating to
We
wake up
can't.
early. Yeah, we were anticipating to wake up at 7 a.m., get some dim sum,
Yes.
some legitimate dim sum, and start our walk, because
Yes.
I was looking forward to eating a lot of dim sum, so I needed to walk.
Yes.
Yeah, so but it didn't work out that way. We ended up waking up like about 9 a.m., and then by the
9 a.m.
time we were done eating, it was about 10:30 ish,
Almost 11, so the sun is very hot. So
and very humid. Yeah,
we decided to take Grab going to
yeah.
Marina Bay.
Yeah, we didn't want to start our day with, like a stinky, sweaty, and sticky, body and stuff like that. So we took Grab there, and that place in itself was a full day of walk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we walked most of the garden. What did we
Yeah.
do?
We toured around with the garden, toured the area, explored, and after that we walk also going to Marina Bay. And
No, like before that, we went up to the tree.
yes,
How much did that cost?
each person is $20.
Yeah, 20 Singaporean dollar, which translates to about 17, 18 US dollars. Yeah, and then we were able to what? Just
Just only to walk and explore and take a picture. Just only that. there in the garden, I think. The one that
What do you mean you think? You were there.
yeah, no.
What do you tell?
The name of the I forget the name of the area
Yeah, and then
because
after that, we walked. You know, we ended up going to the front of the park, and then we wanted to access uh, to Marina Bay. We didn't know how
yeah.
to get there, so we walked to the front and we looked at the map, and it ended up that we were supposed to be on the other side of the garden
Yes.
to cross the bridge to Marina Bay. And then so we walked backwards, back to where we came from,
Yeah.
crossed the bridge to Marina Bay, and what do we do at Marina Bay?
We go from the last floor of Marina Bay and see the views. And actually, I'm not totally focusing with the camera because I'm focusing with the area. I'm so fascinated, the buildings, and I'm still looking for the Merlion where I can find it because that's my one of my list to go.
Yeah,
But
like, go ahead.
go ahead, Ade.
No, when we went to Marina Bay, what did we do? We went to the Sky View?
Yeah, we went to Skyview.
Did it cost any money?
Yes, we cost. Each person is 32 Singapore dollar.
32
Yeah.
$32 Singaporean dollars
Each
each
person.
person to take the elevator to the top floor for
Yes.
the what they call it, the Sky View.
Views.
Yeah, Sky
View.
View. So it's just the observation deck. It doesn't. It's just basically like uh
Only the views and not include with the swimming pool and also the restaurant.
yeah. So basically, you're paying $32 to go on the very top floor for an exaggerated
Yeah.
balcony.
For balcony.
Yeah,
For the views or for the view only.
yeah, and don't get me wrong, guys. Like I'm not, talking crap or anything like that. But for someone like me who has lived in Las Vegas and experienced, the Eiffel Tower in Las Vegas and the Bellagio and all the high roller suites and stuff like that, I am unimpressed. But for her,
I'm so fascinated.
yeah, it was worth every penny to me
Yeah.
because she got to enjoy the experience. So don't take my,
Yeah.
like extreme words too literally. It's just my, perspective is very different from her.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, with everything that we spent, for the 2 days that we were there, we were roughly around, with airfare both ways, hotels and all the food and stuff like that.
Yes.
For the 48 hours was around 1,000 US dollars.
But honestly, guys, when we're in the front desk of the Marina Bay, which is the area where you're gonna pay for the sky views, when the cashier told us that this is the amount per person, I said, "Oh, wait, I need to calculate it." But when I calculate, it's very expensive. I tell him na not to go, but he's the one who insists that no, we should go
Yeah,
since we're already here and we didn't know how many years we're gonna come back to Singapore. So let's just
yeah, and
try.
especially for her, who has never
Yeah,
had that kind of experience. It's not about the money,
yeah,
it's about the experience. So, with all the costs, talked about, why don't we go a little, a few steps backward and
mm,
talk about the immigration process,
yes,
the process of you leaving the Philippines.
yeah. Processing about they're gonna ask you about the insurance, travel tax. Okay, guys, when we arrive at the Mactan International Airport, we go to I forget now.
The
Where
check-in
na?
counter, Scoot's check-in counter.
Yeah, we go to check-in counter, which is a Scoot, the airlines that we're gonna use. And after that, they hold my ticket because I need to pay the travel tax, which is around each person is 1,600 plus. And I asked them why I need to pay for the travel tax. Then they said it's the travel tax for leaving the country. That's the only reason that they give to me. Then after I pay my travel tax, so I go back to the check-in counter to get my ticket. And after that, this is the funny things that happened to me in the immigrations because they asked me that if I have what we call that papers, documents like uh, tickets going to Singapore and going back to the Philippines. So I give it to them. Then there's one thing that I missed out. It was the A travel that I did not know, and I missed to fill it out because last time I checked, that would be the one to give you the papers, the form to fill it up. But I did not know that it's already high tech, so we need to fill up through online. So luckily I have loads, so I need to go back to e-travels. Then Derek is already past his immigration, so I need to go back. He's the one who waited on me. But I'm not scared or any confused for everything.
You were calm.
Yeah, I'm calm. I
And I
just
think that's, the key thing, it's just like
yes,
most Filipinos, when they encounter an unfamiliar territory, they get very nervous. And when you look nervous, it raises suspicion
yes,
by law enforcement. Immigration officers is a form of law enforcement. So, like she was very calm, which I
yes,
was very proud of her. And she was very direct, like I wasn't there, but, it's just from speaking to her after the fact, it's just I coached her even before we arrived to the airport, it's just like I advise her, coach her to let her know that it's just like we plan our trip this way because we already anticipated for her to be turned
yes,
back by immigration. So there's only two things that can happen: they let her through or turn her back.
yeah,
There's really nothing in between. So like by being nervous, like not only is it not helping the situation, it may make the situation worse by creating
yes.
unnecessary suspicions. But carry on. I apologize.
Yeah. Then when the immigration asked me, I just give them the one word answer when they ask, "Do you have a ticket going to Singapore?" Then I give it. And they asked me about the ticket about going back to the Philippines, then I also give it. Then my tip is when they ask you something, just give them just one word, not feeding the Bible because they don't like it. And after that is funny because I was just like kids running, going to eat travels, and when I fill it out, I forgot to screenshot my code. But luckily, when I in the migration, they asked me that where's your e-travel because they did not see my e-travel yet, didn't appear to their computer. So I told them, oh my god, mom, I'm sorry, I forgot to screenshot, which is after you fill it up, you should screenshot your e-travel because they need the code. Even if it's not yet appear to their computer, you need the code. They're gonna ask you about that. Then uh, I'm so happy because when I go back to a travel area to fill it again, the guard told that's not the guard. That's one of the staff at the airport told me that check your emails, mom, because they're gonna send to you your e-travel. So I check it and I found out that I have my e-travel. So I go back to immigration and same question, same answer. You need to be aware with your answer the way they also ask you because sometimes they use that for like if you're giving them a wrong answer, if you lie to them, that's the only thing also you be aware your answer and don't be scared, don't be nervous because they're gonna be like what Derek said suspicious with you.
Yeah, the bottom line is, just keep the answers as simple as
Yes.
possible. Immigration just want to see that, like she is able to support her travel,
Yeah.
which we produce. Like I had her log on to the YouTube studio for Q Adventures over her own channel to prove income, and
Yes.
then she was able to produce, that she paid out of her account for the airfare there and the airfare back,
Yes.
and then she was able to produce, like the hotel that we were staying at, our accommodation basically. So everything just looked legit, and
Yes.
it was for a short flight. Also, the flight there and the return ticket was about 48 hours, and so the immigration was content about that. And
Yeah.
she's
And
27 years old. She's not under 25. So I think that helps a lot as well. Once again, I'm not a professional about this. I'm just speculating, and I think that is the contributing factor. So it's just there wasn't any red flags in the immigration's mind, so she was able to go through.
yeah. And the most important they ask to you is if you can provide your travel. And they asked me also that if I have a sponsored, then I said no. That's the big thing that they're gonna ask you if you have sponsored. Because if you say yes, maybe they're gonna hesitate to give you the
Yeah,
pass.
yeah. If you have a sponsor,
It's very
meaning
hard.
usually, typically, and for a lack of better word,
Yeah.
usually, for countries that are known for that are notorious for sex trafficking, usually the sponsor or the pimp, like pay for their airfares and stuff like that, and once they go there they confiscate your passport. So we made it a point with this trip that
Yeah.
she funds herself, and
Yeah.
not have any sponsors and stuff like that, and the ultimate goal is to get a few stamps, and then like by January, like for her to apply for a tourist visa to the United States, without going through the fiance visa, the marriage visa, or like all the traditional ways. So much so that like this is so unplanned that in the matter of fact, I just recently renewed my Filipino tourist visa for 6 months, and it's supposed to expire in early April. But because this was so unplanned that I forfeited all that, paying all that money when I got went to get my exit clearance. The immigration officer said, "Why did you pay for or until up until April? You're wasting all that money." It's just like about $200 equivalent. And I said, it's just really unplanned. And again, it's just my sarcastic, but say, oh, I'm really craving Chinese food, so we're just gonna forfeit that and go to Singapore and get some proper Chinese food. But yeah, we got to laugh out of it. And
Yes.
the main, that's another contributing factor. Just uh, I'm sure that all these, immigration officers and like people who work behind the counter, they're dealing with a-holes all day, every day, hundreds of them coming through. So just make them laugh a little bit, and I think that contributes to increasing your odds of many things. Just brighten up their day a little bit, and it goes a long way.
One more tip, guys. Always smile. Always smile in the front of patient. Even if they don't smile to you, just smile and be confident to answer their questions so that they'll give you a chance to pass the immigration.
Yeah, it's just greet them with a hello, how are you, good morning.
Yeah.
Just start out on the positive. No matter what stress they have, they will let the guards down a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the main point of the story over here. It's just like now that that we took that trip to Singapore, my whole immigration thing as a foreigner start all over. So my 6 month extension is not applicable anymore. It's null and void. So 30 days from our date of return, which was the 12th, like I'm supposed to renew my passport. I'm sorry, my visa with the Philippines again, which I'm not going to do. We're going to take advantage of the time to do this again, to leave the country again, so she can get more stamps. So we're anticipating to go to Thailand, which is no later than December 11th, and probably spend a week there, depending on our schedules, what subscribers are coming by to visit us, or what kind of business dealings we have. And but we want, we are anticipating or planning to stay in Thailand for 1 week and binge eat Thai food. She was introduced to Thai food, legitimate Thai food
Yes.
in Singapore. So that was so yeah. That is pretty much what it is. You know, it's just we're testing the waters. We're exploring different ways for a Filipina to go to the U.S. or Canada. In the matter of fact, I don't know. You know, I'm not Canadian. I don't know anything about Canada, but anywhere. You know, I'm just hoping that our viewers and subscribers, you know, get an understanding of, you know, there is more than just the traditional way. If you're not afraid to pursue and poke and pry and find your own way, you know, what is accommodating to you, you know. If you just listen to, you know, like all the traditional ways, then that's fine, you know. But we've had subscribers come through and, you know, tell us a little bit about their past Filipino experience and their shotgun marriage and that didn't work out, and you know, like all these horror stories. You know, there's not just one way to do things in the Philippines. You know, so with the visa thing, after we go to the United States and come back, I'm going to pursue a business visa, which allows me to stay 5 years at a time without having to exit the Philippines. I may or may not exit the Philippines within the 5 year period, but you know, that is something that that has not been explored as far as, you know, I'm concerned. I haven't seen anything, you know, online or on YouTube that discuss that. And then when we come back, we're hoping to do content about, you know, a foreigner buying land under his name without the reliance on a Filipina, and open, you know, some topic of conversations, and you know, let you know what the possibilities are besides from, you know, the traditional route. And we're gonna test out water. You want to close out?
Yeah. Okay, guys. That's it for our. That's it for today, and hopefully you can get some tips from our experience going to, uh, from Filipina, traveling first travel to other countries.
Yeah, that's just for today.
Yes.
And then going forward on her channel, you know, we will go ahead and discuss more issues that are against, you know, traditions, I guess. And hopefully that would give you, hopefully you guys can come over and support her channel. And then we will talk about these, you know, like topics more often. Whereas Q Adventures, my channel, we will just put an emphasis on the adventures that we go through, as well as the philanthropy work that we do. For everything else about, you know, those who want to come to the Philippines or um, settle in the Philippines and stuff like that, we will discuss those topics on this channel, Philippines with I.
And that's it. Thank you so much, Paul, for tuning into my YouTube channel, and thank you so much for keep uh, subscribe, and that's it. Thank you, and God bless you all. See you in my next video.